And I thought what I'd do today, instead of ride around the hills and woods and things, I thought I'd go around the city and do a sort of a little bit of a tour of the cycle lanes and things that you haven't seen, or in most cases you haven't seen so far. Now, I am reasonably familiar with where the cycle lanes go. I don't really like riding on the ones which are actually part of the, embedded into the roads, but I'll be careful. And so kind of a city tour, I suppose, in some ways today. Now, it's not my intention to do a real guided tour, so a lot of the things I describe you might not really see, because I'm not going to stop all the time and turn the camera around. So get a sense of it anyway. I haven't even decided where I'm going to go first yet, but there's a cycle lane or cycle path, as it's not part of the main road, so I won't call it a lane. Coming up, I'm going to turn up here, cut through the park, very small park. There are bigger parks here, but in this case it isn't. And then I'm going to join the cycle path in about 200 meters. So I suppose because what I usually film is dirt tracks and steep hills, you might not know much about the city. So we'll go through, have a look. It's not New York, no, and it's not Vienna, but it has its own modernity and beauty, and is a great place to live. So this is the first cycle path, and we're heading now through an area, and I don't know what it's called. Koktiem means spring in Kazakh. I have to stop. As usual, we're going to be stopping a lot today, because red lights, when I'm around, they're always red. And they usually change at the last second as well. So you say, oh, it's only 30 seconds. Yeah, but today, by the time we finish the ride, it'll be an extra 15 minutes. I would imagine, all of the things being equal, I have to wait 15 minutes. Okay, so through Koktiem now. Obviously, I'd say he's in a hurry. Maybe it's just a better cyclist. But I'm not in a hurry, so I'm not going to try and keep up with him. I would, out on the open road, may fail. Now, a lot of these cycle paths cross roads in places like this. And I have the right of way, but I'm never, very confident going over them without making certain I don't have the right of way there. I apologise. I shouldn't have done that. It's about having the right of way. I just obviously lost it. Had the right of way, but crossing the road like that without making sure you can stop, slowing right down and looking, is there anything coming? I've seen people just shoot across. No, I'm not the type. See that kid that goes straight across the road here, and you'd think, well, yeah, he can legally, but I wouldn't trust anyone to see me, certainly on a scooter, going that fast. honestly, there's so much happening. You know, you ride along here, it's not just a couple of bikes going slowly. People walking in and out, cars coming across sometimes, and you've got scooters, mopeds, people walking even actually can be a hazard, because although they're not directly dangerous, you might have to go around them. And then, you know, well, that, I guess you can work out, you know, you have to change your direction and you go around them, and then there's something else coming in there. It's just awkward. Better than cycling in the road, I know. You see more red lights again every time. Why can't they be green sometimes? I'd be tempted to go now if it wasn't, you know, this time of day, because there's nothing coming, so I might think, oh, just sneak across, but there's plenty of people out. I've got to wait again now, you know, the cycle lane. I have to turn right, go across the next road, and they're red again. Right, we shouldn't have to stop again for a few minutes. I mean, there are traffic lights, but they're on very minor roads. Therefore, the chances of them being red instead of 99% are 50-50. Still. Again, you see someone coming up now, walking in the cycle lane, so what I have to do is pull out now, and that, I suppose, yeah, you pull out, you look, I know, but it just adds to the hazards. Someone else now, it's all the time, it's, you know, not just an occasional thing. If you cycle on cycle lanes in Almaty, let's say for an hour, the chances are you'll see 40 people walking in. And what a surprise. See if we get any green lights at all day. Right, well, there are a lot of universities in Almaty now. You'll possibly be surprised to learn there isn't any such university called Almaty University. Like in England, almost all the universities are named after the town or city where you find them. Not all of them, no. But I'm not aware of any university in Kazakhstan that's named in that way. We're going past now the Energo, I'm not even sure exactly what it is called, Energo or something, Energy University. And the one on the right, which again, I'm sorry, I'm not going to stop and turn the camera, is Satbayev University, which is one of the main ones. I know some people who have studied there, but I only know one of them in terms of the subject she studied, which I believe was economics, and that may not make it an economics university. Honestly, I don't know that either, but it's one of the main ones anyway. And as we approach another red light, we're heading down now through the city, and I haven't decided where to yet. there's no timer visible on that side of the crossing there, so don't know, but I presume, given the time we waited for that, then the light changed at the last second. I don't know, you may want to go back and check on the video, but that always seems to happen to me. Not just that they're red and you wait 10 seconds, but that they're red from the second you arrive. They change to red. Anyway, this area here, you see a lot of coaches and tourist buses, obviously called coaches in English, this type of bus. I'm not really sure where they go, to be honest with you. Alacol's a lake. It's about 500 miles. It's quite nice actually, I've been there. And again, people waiting, standing right in the middle. I know I don't want to be bitter because we've all done it, but and there you go. You see, I had the right of way there. No, he stopped, or she stopped. I didn't really see, but you never know. I never feel they're going to. Another problem as well is people just leaving scooters in the middle of the cycle lane. So I'm not sounding very positive and optimistic about things this morning. No, that wasn't my intention, sorry. But there are a few issues with the cycle lanes, I suppose, I raised, and then the traffic lights are just always red anyway, and I just don't understand why. If you toss a coin 100 times, you would expect in the region of 50-50, although I would be surprised if it was exactly 50-50. You would expect a fairly even share. And yet, a system of traffic lights where there are only like heads and tails, and in most cases a relatively even chance of landing on one or the other, how can they always be red? How is that possible? Right, not turning right because I've been that way. So, a more general tour now. I suppose I'm going to head down this cycle lane. I would say, oh, I don't know, let's see. I'm not sure how far it goes on, to be honest. And there we go again. They've just changed to red. Unbelievable. Can't blame him. Oh, well, it was a couple of seconds ahead of time, but you can't blame people for it at all. Just so much time wasted waiting at traffic lights. Well, these are green, so it does happen. It has been known, but usually so surprised when it does happen. end up just stopping anyway. I spoke too soon. And surprise, surprise, someone's parked in it. Although not without justification. Okay, now I don't know this area of the city very well actually, so I don't know. We don't remember the name of the streets, the names of the streets. So I can't say too much, but this is one of the older areas, the center of Soviet Union, Almaty. I wonder if they used to have traffic lights then that were always red. Oh wow. Well, it's a minor road anyway. So perhaps because it's so small, there's a slight chance of it being green. And here we go again. Just changed. I've actually got my radar on, but probably I'm not going to go and turn it off now because it's a bit fiddly, but I don't know, it's not really very much use in a busy road, on a busy road, because you know it warns you of cars, but if there's always a car then the warnings are constant and practically obsolete anyway. Out on the open road it's fantastic, you know, you need to know, or maybe you don't need to know, but you really want to know if there's a car coming up behind. This situation here, you just assume there's a car. Now it's green, but I have to stop because of all these cars turning over. So it's probably going to go red now by default. No, it should just about make it. Just about. I just crossed a street called Almaty, and it's a pretty long, one of the main streets. I don't know. I don't know the history or anything like that. I know what's on it. Cars, of course, traffic lights, shopping centres and some business centres and things. It's one of the busiest streets in the city. I don't know, I think I'm going to stop commenting on these lights because it's going to end up with the whole video being me complaining about traffic lights. You can see for yourselves, okay? If any traffic lights are green when we get to them, well, I don't know, be shocked. Now again, I don't know this area of the city very well because I've never worked here, lived here or had anyone to visit here, so I'm not over familiar with it. Although looking around at it, it does look like some of these buildings are quite new. Not all of them, of course, as you can see, but some of them I think are new. Now that moped just went past in the road, and I don't know whether that means it's just more at this time of day, perhaps quicker for the delivery guys to go in the road, or whether they ban mopeds going in cycle lanes. I hope the latter, very much. Well, this to my knowledge is Wall Street. I may be wrong. Another one of the main streets. Perhaps one of the main 5, to be fair. And I believe the cycle lane now goes down to Makataeva Street and then goes along as far as the Green Bazaar, so we'll head that way. We may not go all the way. It would be a good idea. Anyway, let's just play it by ear. Well, that probably answers the moped question I just asked, unless he's breaking the rules. You get far more scooters than bikes. Right, I have to pedal now. It's not downhill. That was downhill for a few kilometers, as you can obviously will have noticed for yourselves. This is slightly up, slightly, very slightly, 1%, 2% maybe. Okay, now a lot of the buildings on the left, business centres and things, shops, canteens, but I don't know, you see, I don't know, because I think I've got a relatively wide camera angle, but I don't know if you can see on the left coming in now to view, you've got Mega Park. And it's not really new, no, it's newish, but shopping centre, probably 10 years old. There's another mega centre at the top of the city. I guess that probably the same company owns both. I don't know that. And the cycle lane here, actually have to dip back round behind the bus stop. And yeah, it's better than having to swerve out into the middle of the road. Now, these cycle lanes have not been badly designed. I think they're as good as they can be in a busy city, but very, if it's the right word, very trafficated city, and that again, that poses issues for creating an infrastructure, transport infrastructure that everyone's going to share. Now, buildings on the left are new. In fact, so new I've never seen them before. As in, not finished new, I presume. Looking at them, it does appear to be the case. I don't know how well you can hear me actually with all the traffic. Well, obviously I'll do some editing, so you know, by the time I publish it, I should probably have sorted out the sound. See, no comment again. I better say battery life actually for this. No, never mind. Okay, I should think of something to say, but I guess at the moment I'm not too sure I can. So, okay, I'll go quiet for a bit, then maybe able to cut parts of the video out, speed sections up, things like that. No entry. Well, I guess that means for cars. Maybe you're starting to think I'm doing this on purpose and I'm trying to time it to get to red lights. I am not. Okay, well, while we're here, that building there is new as well. I don't know, again, 3-4 years, 5 maybe, I don't know, because I don't come down this area very much. Restaurants, things, I think it's a business centre though. Or maybe a hotel. I don't think it's flats, although there may be some in there. It's often the case that buildings are shared in that way. Crossing now another famous street, Almaty. A lot on this street for sure. a lot of all different kinds of shops and cafes and stuff. It's probably my favourite street in the centre of the city. We're not going up it, but across it. I'd say look left and right now, but of course you can't because I'm not going to move the camera. Now we're not too far away now from the Green Bazaar, which we will go to, and then probably cut back. Not this far back. Now you coming up now to a green light, and it's not quite the first, but now that bus over there is going to be turning. I'm not saying the driver won't wait, but I'm going to nip over a second early, then I get clear of the, you know, the bus. Didn't need to as it happened, but it just seemed like a good idea, because even if he stops, he won't stop 30 meters back. It'll look like he's coming over and then stop right at the line, and I'll think, oh my god, is he going to stop? Don't know, has he seen me, you know? So I'll stop, and then he'll think I'm going to, you know, let him through. No lights at all at this crossing. Right, well, there's a cycle lane up that road. We'll come back that way, but just so for now, I'm going to show you the Green Bazaar. Not inside it, we'll go around it. This time it's green, but well, okay, I am going over in the first instance. Right, I forgot this cycle lane was here, but as it is, then I'm going to go this way to begin with and go back a bit. This, we've just gone past the bazaar, right? I didn't really show you, but we'll come back this way. The area of the city here generally smells of chocolate because there's a chocolate factory there. Very strong smell of chocolate as well, not for miles and miles, but for a couple of 100 meters. You walk there. Now I know the cycle path is here, not just because I'm on it now, but I did know. But I don't know how far down it goes, so we're going to have a look. We see quite close to the edge of the city here actually. Just about enough of that. Nothing coming for 200 meters in either direction. Again, it's an area I don't know that well. Essentially, if I come to this area of the city, then it's to go to the bazaar. I have no call to come this far out. But I have been here, yeah, for sure. But I honestly don't really remember where this road takes me. If it takes me anywhere at all, because, you know, I have to keep stopping. Lots of restaurants. I don't know the head of population, you know, how it compares to other global cities, but I bet there are not many cities in the world that have got as many restaurants and cafes as this one. It's more of a banquet hall, that one I just showed you. You know, where people would go with 100 guests or more. In fact, Kazakh weddings very often have hundreds of guests. I've been to 2 or 3, I think. One was people I didn't even know. I felt quite embarrassed to be there actually. Stayed for half an hour. I thought it was fantastic, but I felt so out of place. And Then was a friend, and then the one after that was a friend's brother. And in each of the latter two cases there were at least 100 people there. Expensive affairs as well. Right, this is arguably the end of the cycle lane. Now it appears to be the top of the park, the recreation zone. So let's just go through. And I keep saying I've lived here so long, but I've never done this, I've never done this, I've never done this. Well, I've actually never, that I remember anyway, been inside this park. And well, I don't know, is it going to be worth going in now? Well, there didn't appear to be anything to stop me, so we'll have a quick trundle around. I can't tell you much about it, it's what you see, you know, what you see is what you get, I guess. It's a very popular place anyway, I know that. I guess the fact they're not trying to ban bikes suggests it's seen as some kind of a recreational option for people to go around slowly. If everyone cycled like I do, I don't mean fast, I just mean, you know, more seriously, we probably wouldn't allow it here. Well, my radar and my own observation tells me there's a car behind me. Yeah, I can see why people like this place. Now, I don't have much battery life, and I don't want to have to sit for an hour recharging it, although perhaps might. But I'm going to turn around now, maybe go back a slightly different way, and then back out onto the cycle lanes and just head home in a sense. This was planned to be my ride today, something different, but I still have to get home, and as you know, that's not all on the cycle lanes. Dolphin place, I have heard about it, yeah. A dolphinarium. Put simply, don't know. Still, there are dolphins there. Anyway, the park is possibly slightly bigger than I thought, but as I'd never given it much thought, I won't say I'm too surprised. Don't know if they have crazy golf. That may be that's crazy golf, or it's probably more like a skateboard park. And another thing as well, what the hell is bubble tea? I know I'm getting on a bit, but behind the times, didn't think that much. Bubble tea. Well, I could just simply Google it. Alternatively, post in the comments below. What's bubble tea? Now I've actually just had an idea. As you know, you can hear I've got problems with my front brake. What I might do is buy a pair of brake pads and then go to the mechanic, because that would be a quick job for him. I'll contact him first. That might not be a bad idea at all, actually. because I did think that the noise had stopped, but it's returned, so there's obviously something wrong. It's not just going to pass. And you know, I think it was told it was probably just debris, which is very, very reasonable, and it may be true as well as reasonable. Having said that, it hasn't now, I think about 3 weeks, it hasn't changed. So I'm starting to think that something actually more fundamentally wrong than just a little bit of debris. Right, so back out along the cycle lane. Of course, a cycle lane because it's part of the road rather than a cycle path, which is a separate designated road for cyclists only. And I'm not sure really, as I didn't have any plan. I couldn't give you one. Well, I still can't. I'm not sure exactly which way I'm going to go. Back down here at least, and then to Konaev Street, and then up, and then I'll decide after that. I'm laughing at the irony of it being a traffic light turning green at the last second. Now this road here where you see all the buses are, when I come to the bazaar, then I would come back to the bus stop. Again, I'm not sure what you can see, but there's a bus stop now on my right. That's where I would get the bus home. All the way home, in fact. And here's the chocolate factory again, to get your bearings. There, and these are long traffic lights, so be here for a minute. A minute doesn't sound like a long time, but it feels like it. Right, keep talking about it, so I should stop and point it out. There's the Green Bazaar. There you go. Now I'm starting to think I've got about 10 minutes left on this video. So over now, a couple of the streets away to Konaev, up. And I keep saying I don't know, I have a sense, but I don't want to spend too long sitting around just to charge the battery. So it could be there won't be much more. Yeah, it's nearly an hour. I don't think anyone will watch an hour. I wouldn't. Now I had the right to wait there, man. I knew he wouldn't stop, so I just thought, okay, let him go. I say him, right? I don't believe there are more than a handful of female bus drivers in the city, at least the whole of Kazakhstan. You could say I don't know why, don't know the official reason, if there is an official reason, but I don't think many would want to do it anyway. There are some though. Okay, up Konaev, this is not very steep, but well, no, when you do the kind of cycling I do, this is nothing, but it's deceptive, which means psychologically you're not really prepared for a climb, but you get one. So buses stop, you can't pull in the cycle lane, so the passengers have the right to wait when they get off. Sure, there have been accidents that in those situations. but there were a couple of green lights there. Yes, I did notice. Now, it's amazing, but almost all the lights coming back have been green. Coincidence? Very rare. I have slightly paced myself, but anyway. Right, slight, not really a change of plan, but Right, so I say, change of plan. Battery is almost spent. So what I'm going to do, park up somewhere, have a cup of tea, green tea, and then charge the battery up. I don't know how much time I'll require for it, but then I'll cycle back home. Even if I charge the battery, I don't think the SD card's going to accept many more minutes of filming. Okay, maybe we won't have any tea. Sort something out. Anyway, I guess the last part of this would be to gently cycle past the cafe there with the yellow frontage, my favourite cafe in the world. Stop the video and then decide. So, it's been an hour. Thank you for skipping through or even watching, I don't know. Well, hang on, it's not even open yet. I forgot it's so early. It's not at 9 o'clock yet.